Right. So now let us continue with where we have stopped in the previous class. See, మనం లాస్ట్ క్లాస్లో ఎక్కడ ఏం డిస్కస్ చేసాం, అమాల్గమేషన్ గురించి డిస్కస్ చేసాం. We were discussing section 47. దాంట్లో అమాల్గమేషన్ రిలేటెడ్ ఏరియాస్ we have discussed. Now today let us get into something called as 47 subsection 6D. 47 subsection 6D. This speaks about demerger. This speaks about demerger. What this says that demerger. First, let us try to understand demerger means what. Say there is a company. So let us take an example of Pepsodent. Say Pepsodent lo మనకి తెలిసింది ఏంటి, there are two units in Pepsodent. ఏంటవి? One is nothing but toothbrush manufacturing unit, other is nothing but toothpaste manufacturing unit. దీంట్లో మెర్జర్ అంటే ఏంటి, రెండు జాయిన్ అవుతాయి, టూ కంపెనీస్ విల్ జాయిన్. అండర్ డీమెర్జర్ separation, so they will separate. So ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతున్నాయి, toothbrush unit and toothpaste unit is becoming a separate entity. Toothpaste unit is becoming a separate entity. అంతేందుకు, for example, let me take a realistic example, Hero Honda. So Hero Honda split అయింది. Hero is separate and Honda is separate. So now Hero Limited is a separate company, Honda Limited is a separate company. So whenever separation happens, then మనం ఏమంటాం, we'll call that as a demerger. Whenever joining happens, that joining is something called as for amalgamation, separation is something called as for demerger. Okay, so demerger law 47 subsection 7D says demerger is not a transfer. Demerger is not a transfer. So ఇందులో there are two companies which are resulting as a part of demerger. Earlier there was only one company called as Hero Honda. Now there is a company called as Hero, there is a company called as Honda. Alage, let us take an example that Pepsodent you are having two units. Toothbrush unit in one unit, toothpaste got separated. So this toothpaste company is now, let us call that as an Excel Limited. దీన్ని ఏమంటాం, we'll call this as a resulting company. As a result of demerger, new company got formed that will be called as resulting company. ఈ కంపెనీని ఏమంటాం, ఈ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ కంపెనీ will be called as a demerged company. దీన్ని will call that as a demerged company. ఇంతకు ముందర Pepsodent ఉండేది. Now Pepsodent demerge అయిపోయి టూత్పేస్ట్ యూనిట్ సెపరేట్ కొత్త కంపెనీ కింద ఫామ్ అయింది. So that new company is called as resulting company. Pepsodent, which was existing still a long time, is said to be called as what? Is said to be called as a demerged company. So మనం when the case of amalgamation, two parties, amalgamating company, amalgamated company, or purchasing company, selling company. అలాగే డీమెర్జర్కి వచ్చినప్పటికల్లా వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ టూ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎంటిటీస్ విచ్ నథింగ్ బట్ యువర్ రిజల్టింగ్ కంపెనీ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ డీమెర్జర్ కంపెనీ. ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ కంపెనీని డీమెర్జర్ కంపెనీ అంటాం, న్యూ కంపెనీ ఏదైతే ఫామ్ అవుతుందో దాన్ని రిజల్టింగ్ కంపెనీ అంటాం. నౌ లెట్ us కమ్ టు సెక్షన్ 47 సబ్సెక్షన్ 6D. ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఇట్ సేస్ ఎనీ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ డీమెర్జర్, if it is happening, and in the case of demergers, ఇప్పుడు what should happen, there should be some sort of consideration paid to the shareholders. Consideration, so ఏదైతే consideration, exchange of shares ఏదైతే ఉన్నాయో, that exchange of shares is not a transfer. Same thing what we have discussed above. 47 subsection 7 ఏదైతే చెప్తోందో 47 subsection 6D also says the same thing. So as earlier Pepsodent shareholder was having two units, now one unit got separated. For this there should be some sort of consideration paid to the shareholders of Pepsodent company. So they are exchanging their net worth. So this exchange is not called as a transfer as per section 47 subsection 6D. Then ఇలాగే డీమెర్జర్కి we are also having some other section which is nothing but 6B. 47 6B, what it says, any sort of transfer of capital asset, okay, any transfer of a capital asset in course of demerger. So any transfer of a capital asset in course of demerger is also not to be considered as a transfer, is not considered as transfer. So two things, అమాల్గమేషన్ గురించి మనం రెండు డిస్కస్ చేసాం, డీమెజర్ గురించి టూ థింగ్స్ వీఆర్ డిస్కసింగ్. అమాల్గమేషన్, transfer of capital asset in the course of amalgamation is not a transfer provided 3/4 of the shareholders become the shareholder of amalgamating company and the receiving company is an Indian company. Same conditions apply in the case of demerger. Same as exchange of shares is not considered as a transfer in the case of amalgamation, same thing is also not to be considered as a transfer in the case of your demerger. So 2 points clear? Any doubt is there? Is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Right. Okay. Now, so now let us move on to the other part. 7AA. 47 subsection 7AA. This speaks about one interesting aspect. 7AA. ఏంటిది? You are doing a transfer. Any transfer. Whatever transfer you do, any transfer. So 7A speaks about any transfer. Location important. 7A ఏంటి? Location is important. 7A. Location is important. ఏంటిది? This clearly says any transfer outside India. ఇండియాలో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయితే 7AA అప్లై కాదు. ఇండియాలో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయితే 7AA ఈజ్ నాట్ అప్లికబుల్. దిస్ 7AA ఈజ్ అప్లికబుల్ ఓన్లీ వెన్ ద ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ అవుట్ సైడ్ ద కంట్రీ. ఓకే, అవుట్ సైడ్. అది కూడా ఏంటి? వాట్ ఈస్ ద క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్? ద క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ a rupee denominated bond. A rupee denominated bond. ఎవరిది? ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ కంపెనీ. రూపీ డినామినేటెడ్ బాండ్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ కంపెనీ అంటే ఏంటి? దట్స్ వాట్ ఈస్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సే యు ఆర్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్ ఏ క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్. ఎక్కడ? అవుట్ సైడ్ ఇండియా. ఏంటా క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్? దట్ క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఏ బాండ్. ఎవరిది? ఇండియన్ కంపెనీ. And how the Indian company is issuing? The Indian company is issuing this bond in terms of rupees. So as it is issuing in the terms of rupees, we'll call this as what? We'll call this as a rupee denominated bond. Alanti capital asset ni what you are doing outside India, you are doing a transfer. Ever transfer చేస్తున్నారు? By a non-resident, and the transfer is happening to another non-resident. So transfer is happening between two non-residents. Say again, non-resident transferring a capital asset to another non-resident. ఏంటా capital asset? Indian company issue చేసిన bond. How the Indian company has issued that bond? In something called as rupee denominated bond. Then 47 subsection 7AA says that it is not called as a transfer. దాన్ని మనం ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ కింద కన్సిడర్ చెయ్యం. దట్స్ వాట్ ఈస్ వన్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్ వీ నీడ్ టు ఆల్వేస్ రిమెంబర్. ఓకే, దెన్ ఓకే, ఇది నోట్ చేసుకోండి. డీమెజర్ అండ్ యూ నోట్ డౌన్ దిస్. దెన్ విల్ మూవ్ ఆన్ టు 47 7AB. This is the recent amendment with effect from 1st April 2020. This amendment takes place. ఓకే అయిపోయిందా డన్ So let us move on to the next section here. 47 subsection 7 AB. 47 subsection 7 AB. ఏంటిది? What is this? Again, this section says whenever you are transferring something called as a capital asset, and here there is a tagline for the specified capital asset. So మనం ఏం ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తున్నాం something called as a specified capital asset. ఏంటది? What is the meaning of a specified capital asset for this purpose? For this purpose, the act says the specified capital asset is nothing but there may be something called as global depository receipt, okay, which is defined under section 115 AC subsection 1. So Income Tax Act law, there is something called as section 115 AC subsection 1. In that there is something which is defined as GDR, global depository receipt. So anyone who is transferring this global depository receipt is said to be called as a specified capital asset. Then it also says if you are transferring something called as rupee denominated bonds ఎవరు ఇష్యూ చేస్తారు? issued by Indian company. So Indian company is issuing a bonds, and what is that bond? Rupee denominated bond. So now that bond is also called as a specified capital asset. Then the third one, you are getting something called as, you are transferring something called as derivative. You are transferring something called as derivative. Okay, derivative meaning I explain just, and first let me finish the section 47 7AB, then I will try to explain the meaning of the derivative. So three things you are transferring, or the last one says you may be transferring any security which is notified by central government. Central government is notifying few securities. Even that securities, if you are transferring, that will be called as a specified capital asset. So if four assets in Gani, if you transfer, who is transferring? Non-resident is transferring. So transfer of a capital asset by non-resident, same as above. పై సెక్షన్ కూడా ఏమవుతోంది? non-resident is transferring to another non-resident. But in this case, non-resident, what is doing? Specified capital asset by a non-resident on recognized stock exchange. Recognized stock exchange, ekkada? Not in all the places. In something called as IFSC. IFSCలో ఈ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయితేనే this section is applicable. What is IFSC? The next question is, IFSC means International Financial Services Center. IFSC is nothing but International Finance Service Center. Okay, ante enti? International Finance Service Center ante where the transactions of financial service is happening across the country. Dani will call that as IFSC. Alanti IFSC lo, if this is sold by a non-resident in IFSC and consideration is happening in foreign currency, then 47 AB says not a transfer. There is no need to impose any sort of capital gain. This provision is with effect from 1st April 20. 1st April 20 నుంచి this provision came into force. So I can say this is the recent amendment which we need to focus. Again, స్పెసిఫైడ్ క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్ మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం? నాన్ రెసిడెంట్ రికగ్నైజ్ స్టాక్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్లో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేశాడు. And where is the recognized stock exchange located? The recognized stock exchange is located in something called as International Finance Service Center. And what is that specified capital asset? The specified capital asset is something called as our global deposit receipt. The specified asset is something called as rupee denominated bond. The specified asset is something called as derivative. That specified asset is something called as a securities which is notified by the central government. Securities which is notified by the central government. Clear? That's what is something called as a specified capital asset. If any non-resident sells this in a recognized stock exchange in IFSC, then consideration received in foreign currency, then whatever gain you are having, nothing is taxable because it is not called as a transfer as per section 47 7AB. Apart from the word derivative, ఈ సెక్షన్లో ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉందా? Because derivative ఇంకా explain చేయలేదు, I will explain the word called as derivative. Apart from that, any doubts in 47 7AB? Okay, so silence amounts to acceptance, fine. So now derivative అంటే ఏంటి? Let us try to understand the word called as derivative. Derivative is nothing but a financial instrument. Derivative is nothing but a financial instrument. Is nothing but a financial instrument. Derivative ki danantata daniki value ఉండదు. That's the reason it is called as derivative. See, derivative means what? It derives. Derives అంటే ఏంటి? It gets, it obtains. Derivative అంటే it derives value from something. It derives value from something. ఆ సంథింగ్కి వాల్యూ పెరిగితే డెరివేటివ్ వాల్యూ పెరుగుతుంది. సంథింగ్ వాల్యూ తగ్గితే డెరివేటివ్ వాల్యూ తగ్గుతుంది. So that's what is something called as derivative. So simple example I am giving. Say I got a pass, movie pass. Let us consider I got a movie pass of a very high expected. Say let me take an example of your RRR. RRR మూవీకి నాకు ఒక పాస్ వచ్చింది. Okay, now if this pass as such does not have any value, okay, ఈ వాల్యూ ఎప్పుడు పెరుగుతుంది? That depends upon the performance of this movie. ఈ మూవీ ఫస్ట్ డే సూపర్ బ్లాక్ బాస్టర్ హిట్ టాక్ వస్తే అల్టిమేట్లీ ద మూవీ పాస్ ఐ కెన్ సెల్ ఫర్ ఎనీ వాల్యూ. సి నాకు వెళ్ళడం ఇంట్రెస్ట్ లేదు, ఐ వాంట్ టు గివ్ ఇట్ టు యూ. నేను ఏమంటున్నాను, నా దగ్గర పాస్ ఉంది, యూ పే మీ దిస్ మచ్ మనీ అండ్ టేక్ ఇట్ అంటున్నాను. ఎంత అమౌంట్ కోట్ చేయాలి? సినిమా అట్టర్ ఫ్లాప్ అయితే ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ ఐ ట్రై టు కోట్ 10 rupees or 50 rupees or 100 rupees, no one will buy. అదే ఇఫ్ ద మూవీ ఈజ్ ఎ బ్లాక్ బాస్టర్ హిట్, ఆ పాస్ని ఎంతకన్నా సేల్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో అల్టిమేట్లీ దిస్ పాస్ ఈజ్ గెటింగ్ ఏ వాల్యూ ఫ్రమ్ ద పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫిలిం. పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫిలిం బాగుంటే వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ద పాస్ విల్ గో అప్. Performance of the film is not good, the value of the pass will go up. So ultimately, this movie pass derives a value from something. What is something? Performance of the movie. Derivatives kuda ante. Derivative is a financial instruments. This financial instruments derives value from what? From something called as underlying asset. There is something called as underlying asset. Okay? అండర్లయింగ్ అసెట్ వాల్యూ పెరిగితే డెరివేటివ్స్ వాల్యూ పెరుగుతాయి. అండర్లయింగ్ వాల్యూ తగ్గితే డెరివేటివ్స్ వాల్యూ తగ్గుతుంది. డెరివేటివ్స్కి జనరల్లీ అండర్లయింగ్ అసెట్ అంటే ఏంటి మనకి? సో మీరు వింటూనే ఉంటారు, ఇఫ్ యూ ఫాలో ద న్యూస్, స్టాక్ మార్కెట్ నిఫ్టీ ఫెల్ డౌన్ బై 100 points, Sensex has fallen by 1000 points. So all this is what? Derivative. So for example of the derivatives is something called as our Nifty and something called as our Sensex. So Sensex పెరిగింది, నిఫ్టీ పెరిగింది అంటే ఏంటి? ఈ నిఫ్టీ వెనకాల దేర్ ఆర్ సమ్ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ అండర్లయింగ్ అసెట్. ఏంటి అండర్లయింగ్ అసెట్? స్టాక్స్ ఆఫ్ నేషనల్ స్టాక్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్. Sensex, what is the underlying asset? Stocks of Bombay Stock Exchange. బాంబే స్టాక్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్లో స్టాక్ వాల్యూ పెరిగితే సన్సెక్స్ వాల్యూ పెరుగుతుంది. నేషనల్ స్టాక్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్లో షేర్స్ వాల్యూ పెరిగితే నిఫ్టీ వాల్యూ పెరుగుతుంది. అంటే నిఫ్టీకి యాజ్ సచ్ దెర్ ఈస్ నో వాల్యూ. నిఫ్టీ ఈజ్ గెటింగ్ ఏ వాల్యూ ఫ్రమ్ ద షేర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎన్ఎస్సి Sensex is getting a value from shares of BSE. That's the reason we'll call Nifty and Sensex as a derivatives, because these are the financial instruments. Clear? The derivatives meaning is clear for you? Okay, so just take it down. Then we'll move on to the next part of the section 47. Okay, so now let us go to the next point here. See, in 47 lo అన్ని points cover చేయట్లేదు. We are just trying to cover the few important points from the examination point of view, right? Now, let us move on to the other point here. 47 subsection 9. 47 subsection 9. ఏంటిది? What is 47 subsection 9? Let us try to see. 47 subsection 9 ఏంటంటే you are having a capital asset. ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతోంది. ఏం ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతోంది? క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ క్యాపిటల్ అసెట్? లెట్ us try to see. The capital asset is nothing but a archaeological monument. Okay, archaeological monument, or you are having some manuscript, you are having some painting, okay, you are having some sort of photograph, okay, you are having some sort of photograph, you are having some photograph. These are the assets which you are transferring. ఎవరికి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తున్నావు? This assets is being transferred to government. So whenever any archaeological monument, any art or anything is transferred to government, or any sort of university, or any sort of national museum, అలాగే it is transferred to something called as national art gallery, any of these things if you are transferring, then it is not called as a transfer. So in that case, what 47 subsection 9 says? Not a transfer. Not a transfer. You need not pay any sort of capital gains on this particular thing. This point we have discussed. Entity, I can call this as a personal effect. Personal effect. So if you go back and see our first day's discussion, there we have discussed something called as personal effect. దాంట్లో మనం డిస్కస్ చేసినది ఏంటి? ఎనీథింగ్ విచ్ ఇస్ జ్యువెలరీ, ఎనీ ఆర్కియాలజికల్ మాన్యుమెంట్, any manuscript, any sculpture, any painting, any photograph, any sort of artwork, even though that is personal effect, it is considered as a transfer, it is taxable అని చెప్పి మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నాం. అందుకనే 47 సబ్సెక్షన్ నేనేం చెప్తోంది, పర్సనల్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అగ్రీడ్, బట్ హియర్ టు హూమ్ యు ఆర్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్, యు ఆర్ నాట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్ టు సమ్ అదర్ పర్సన్, యు ఆర్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్ దిస్ టు గవర్నమెంట్, యు ఆర్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్ దిస్ టు యూనివర్సిటీ, యు ఆర్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్ దిస్ టు నేషనల్ మ్యూజియం ఆర్ నేషనల్ ఆర్ట్ గ్యాలరీ. As you are doing a transfer to the government and its organizations, 47 subsection 9 says it's not called as a transfer. You need not pay any sort of capital gains on this scenario. That's it. Then the next point, 47 subsection 10. 47 subsection 10 ఏంటిది? 47 subsection 10 says whenever you are doing some sort of conversion of what? Conversion of bonds or debentures. You are doing some sort of conversion of bonds or debentures into shares. Debentures ni shares కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం. Conversion of debentures into shares is also not to be called as transfer. Debentures ni shares కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేసిన, bonds ni shares కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేసిన, we will not consider that to be as a transfer. So that's what is the other point we should always remember. Then the next most important point we have to consider is nothing but 47 subsection 16. 47 subsection 16 is one of the most important, which is something called as reverse mortgage. 47 subsection 16 says reverse mortgage is not a transfer. Reverse mortgage is not a transfer. Anything which is called as a reverse mortgage, we will not consider that as a transfer. Okay, idokkasar note cheskondi, whatever we discussed so far, take a note of that. Then we'll see what is the meaning of a reverse mortgage. Right, so now let us try to understand something called as reverse mortgage. Okay, reverse mortgage. So reverse mortgage, before understanding that, what is mortgage? That's, let us discuss, then we can easily understand the word called as a reverse mortgage. Mortgage ante enti basically, say na daggara oka house undi, I am having a house. This house I am giving as a security to the bank. Oka bank elli house in security కింద ఇస్తే bank will give me loan. Bank will give me a loan as a security. Then I need to make a repayment of loan evarki, bank. That's what is called as mortgage. Again, see, mortgage ante enti oka house ni తీసుకెళ్ళి bank ki తాకట్టు పెడితే bank నాకు loan ఇస్తుంది. That loan either on monthly basis or yearly basis or whatever basis it is, you need to do a repayment. That's what is called as traditional mortgage. Now reverse mortgage ante enti? Reverse mortgage is generally given to a senior citizen. Andarki evaru, reverse mortgage facility will be given only for a senior citizen, and that senior citizen has no income. He is not earning any income other than pension. Other than pension, such senior citizen is not earning any sort of income. That's what is the condition. ఇందులో ఏమవుతుంది, రివర్స్ మార్ట్గేజ్ లో దిస్ సీనియర్ సిటిజన్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ ఏ హౌస్. దిస్ సీనియర్ సిటిజన్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ ఏ హౌస్. వాట్ హీ డూ? హీ డస్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ రివర్స్ మార్ట్గేజ్. హీ ఈస్ డూయింగ్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ రివర్స్ మార్ట్గేజ్. ఎవరికి? బ్యాంక్. నౌ వాట్ ద బ్యాంక్ విల్ డూ? బ్యాంక్ విల్ పే హిమ్. He need not pay. The senior citizen need not pay. Bank will pay him monthly. Bank will pay him either half yearly. Bank will pay him yearly. So general ga emavuthundi, you need to make a repayment to the banker. But in this case, the banker is making payment to you. So the payments are done by the banker. So that's the reason we'll call this as a reverse mortgage. So the senior citizen under a reverse mortgage in a scheme approved by central government has done the reverse mortgage to the bank. So the bank will make a payment to him. So ultimately ఏమవుతుంది, at the end of the period, once senior citizen expires, once the senior citizen expires, the bank will give an option. Evariki? The bank will give an option to the legal heads. So what the bank will do? Bank will give an option. Bank will give option. To whom? To the legal heads. Bank will give an option to the legal heads for repayment. అప్పుడు రిపేమెంట్ ఇవ్వాలి. If the legal heads is not in a position to repay, so the bank will give an option for repayment, or bank will sell the house, bank will dispose the house, bank will do the transfer చేసి ఎంతైతే లోన్ అమౌంట్ ఉందో ఆ లోన్ అమౌంట్ అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకుని రిమైనింగ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ విల్ బి paid to the legal heads. This process is something called as the reverse mortgage. So as per section 47 subsection 16, reverse mortgage is not to be called as a transfer. So reverse mortgage ante enti? Senior citizen under a reverse mortgage giving his house to the bank, and bank is paying him some sort of amount. ఇక్కడ ఆ హౌస్ని బ్యాంక్ ఇచ్చేయక్కర్లేదు. యూ కెన్ స్టిల్ లీవ్ ఇన్ ద హౌస్. యూ కెన్ డూ సమ్ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ రిపేర్స్ ఫర్ ద హౌస్. యూ కెన్ గివ్ ద హౌస్ ఆన్ రెంట్ అండ్ ఎర్న్ సమ్ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్కమ్. ఏదైనా చేయొచ్చు. ఎప్పుడు రిపేమెంట్ ఇవ్వాలి? రిపేమెంట్ ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. వన్స్ దట్ పర్సన్ ఎక్స్పైర్స్, బ్యాంక్ విల్ కమ్ టు ద లీగల్ హెడ్స్. బ్యాంక్ విల్ ఆస్క్ ద లీగల్ హెడ్స్ వెదర్ the legal heirs will pay or whether the house has to be sold. Based upon this, the amount of liability will be discharged. So e process ni will be calling this as a reverse mortgage situation. So that's what is something called as a reverse mortgage. That's it. So these are the important points we need to remember in section 47. So section 47 any doubts unnaya? Again, what section 47 says? Any transactions not to be called as a transfer or mentioned under section 47. That's it. So any doubts are there so far? Charging section, 2 subsection 14, 2 subsection 47, section 47. Endukante one more thing is there. If we discuss that, I can say part 1 of capital gains is done, because definition part అనేది most important. So definition part అయిపోతే then we can step into and discuss how do we calculate the capital gain, what are the special case of calculation of your capital gain, index cost of acquisition means what, cost of acquisition means what, all these sort of things we'll try to understand. So definition part is most important. Idi clear aithe then I will go to the last definition, which is nothing but section 2 subsection 42a and section 2 subsection 29a. ఈ 2 sections discuss చేస్తే first part of capital gains is set to be done. So just note down this. Any doubts are there, please come with that. So ఈ 2 sections will discuss. Okay. So now let us move on to section 2 subsection 29a. Section 2 subsection 29a. 2 subsection 29a. ఏంటిది? What is this? This says that definition of long-term capital asset. See, ఇప్పటివరకు మనం outer view చూసాం. We are just till now we are discussing something called as capital asset. Now let us drill down the capital asset. Capital asset, if I drill down, there will be 2 types of capital asset. If I drill down the word called as capital asset, I'll be getting 2 types of capital asset. Entity one is said to be called as a long-term capital asset. Another one is said to be called as a short-term capital asset. Long-term capital asset is defined under section 2, subsection 29a. Short-term capital asset is defined under section 2, subsection 42A. Okay, one section defines the word called as capital asset, other section defines something called as short term capital asset. Now 29A చూద్దాం, I mean 229A. What is this? Very simple. Any asset, the definition here is what? Any capital asset other than short term capital asset. That's it. That's what is the vague definition given by section 2 subsection 29. So ante enti, any capital asset which is not a short term capital asset is said to be called as a long term capital asset. అంటే నాకు ఇప్పుడు క్లారిటీ, ఈ సెక్షన్ క్లారిటీ రావాలంటే I need to understand clearly short term capital asset. Now let us try to understand what is the meaning of short term capital asset under section 2 subsection 42A. So దీంట్లో there are basically three different things I need to consider. There are basically three different things I need to consider. One is said to be called as a financial asset. If you are having something called as financial asset, short-term capital asset is different. If you are having something called as shares, if you are having something called as land and building, it is something else other than category 1 and category 2, it is something. So three categories are there. First, financial asset ante enti? Let us try to understand what is the meaning of a financial asset. Financial asset means what? It should be a security. Any security which is listed, any security which is listed in recognized stock exchange, any security other than units, any security other than units, what it should be there? It should be listed in something called as stock exchange, recognized stock exchange. So it should be first of all recognized, listed in the recognized stock exchange. That's the first point. The second point says that it can be an unit of what? It can be an unit of Unit Trust of India, or it can be an unit of something called as equity oriented fund. Okay, any sort of security listed in recognized stock exchange, any sort of units of UTI, or any sort of units of equity oriented fund is said to be called as our financial asset. Then the last one, there is something called as zero coupon bond. Zero coupon bond. Okay, these three things will be said to be called as your financial asset. If financial asset ni, when I will call that as short term, when I will call that as a long term. If you hold this for 12 less than 12 months, I will call that as short term. Ante if this is held for a period of more than 12 months, I will call that as long term. If you are holding that for a period of less than 12 months, I will call that as short term. So financial asset period of holding is what? 12 months hold cheyali. What is the meaning of period of holding? Date of acquisition నుంచి ఎప్పటి నుంచి అయితే కొంటున్నామో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసే వరకు 12 months నేను హోల్డ్ చేస్తే అది లాంగ్ టర్మ్ అయిపోతుంది. 12 months కన్నా తక్కువ అట్టే పెట్టుకుంటే that will be called as was short term. Clear? Units securities listed in recognized stock exchange, units of UTI, equity oriented fund, zero coupon bonds. Ivanni period of holding anedi less than 12 months, we will call that as a short term capital asset. Then let us move on to the next one. Ikkada what we are calling shares, and you are also calling land and buildings. Shares of what? Shares which is nothing but unlisted. Enduku listed alage ikkada cover అయిపోతుంది కదా. Shares and securities also, shares is also called as securities. If the shares are listed, I will call that as a financial asset. If the same shares are unlisted, I will not call that as a financial asset. Unlisted shares, land and building, if you hold that for a period of less than 24 months, we'll call that as a short term capital asset. Less than 24 months అయితే short term అవుతుంది. Greater than or equal to 24 months, ultimately we'll call that as a long term. So period of holding ఏంటి, financial asset అయితే less than 12 months, short term. Unlisted shares, land and buildings, less than 24 months, short term. Anything other than financial asset, anything other than shares and building, period of holding enta, less than 36 months. Less than 36 months. We will call that as short term capital asset. So, three things. Financial asset అయితే 12 months is the criteria. Unlisted shares, land and buildings, 24 months is the criteria. Anything other than these two, 36 months is the criteria. Less than 12 months, less than 24 months, less than 36 months, short term. Greater than or equal to 12 months, greater than or equal to 24 months, greater than or equal to 36 months, we'll call that as long term. So that is the basis of determination of your long term capital asset or short term capital asset. So just note down this definition. So we'll end up for today. Tomorrow we'll start with a very important thing: calculation of long term capital gain, calculation of short term capital gain, indexed cost of acquisition, special cases in your capital gain. Danto I can say the first part అయిపోయింది. Then I can say the second part is set to be completed. Okay, tomorrow we'll try to finish off the second part as well. So just take down this definition and we'll stop for today.